Artis is on this team.
Yeah.
What is he for if not to play the Jet?
Well, and I think it's interesting too because you're making two changes here. It's not just that you've taken Artis off of the Duelist, but then you're going from the Raze to the Jet too. Really feels like there are some fundamental things that they feel like are being addressed by this change.
Yeah, I think the first thought I have when I'm looking at this change is Victor was one of the guys who was very comfortable on this map against Leviathan. So let's see if he can still maintain that comfortability against tens of all people.
Oddly enough, as soon as you say that, he takes some spray, but it's actually Artis who draws first blood.
And this was a role he was playing for the team at Lock-In. This Killjoy, he is so flexible, so comfortable to go for these picks that the team requires of them. And it's interesting that we're going straight up against Sentinels here in the second week because Sentinels is led towards comfortability where NRG is asking their players to be uncomfortable.
NRG trying to find a couple of other openers, and they are. I mean, the defenses of Sentinels have essentially crumbled here on the site, and Def may be trying to make a swing back at things. But it's just not going to matter. It's
that
not
was
gonna
quick.
Be enough. Yeah.
That Trailblazer from Finesse instantly not only gets them the space, they get past and up their wall where there's a little pocket, by the way, that they can walk into the site with. And that was unexpected for the Sentinels players on the site. Gets a stun off, and Victor's on top of him. Artis is on top of him. Everybody right there. As well as the push through tree coming through the rotating door. That's a good pistol for NRG. Way to start off this game.
That timer's frozen, Balla. That timer's not moving.
Yeah, probably a tech pause here right off rip. All good.
All good. Hopefully it won't be long. As soon as we find out what it is, we'll keep you all informed.
And I think as well, when you're looking at the comp changes, this is not only very new, but you're still dealing with some of the changes that we've seen from this team in the past. Finesse recently picking up the Sky for this comp as well. So it's very, very important to keep eyes on all of these players, how they're actually using their utility. Is there going to be any flubs, or have they really practiced to become proficient, very proficient at this role? While the Sky is new for Finesse, the Initiator role is not. He played Breach on a number of different maps. Very different how those agents actually control mechanically, though. And then the other thing on the other side, Sentinels with this Harbor Viper leading into the Brazilian meta with the two Brazilians on their team, Sassy and Def. It's very good at actually handling defaults and retaking map control just like you see right now, but just classics. They're gonna go for orbs instead, and I like this later in the round rather than where NRG's set up to actually spray through a wall or anything like that. They're in the middle of rotating.
You mentioned that orb they did, that they just got mid. They also grabbed the orb on A for Def, and you can tell it was very much part of the plan. They pushed down A main initially, grabbed that orb, and then used a Harbor utility to get another one B.
So while both teams struggled for the orbs in the beginning, now they're leading back over towards C, and it is an eco, so we do see the gamble from Sentinels on the minimap. Not quite in the right position here. And while we did lose the Raze, we still have the double dive possible here with the Omen and Jets.
30
Both able
seconds
to
left.
take space vertically and in the back of sight and break angles up.
Spike planted.
NRG getting the spike down. There should not be any challenge, at least for a little while. As Ball, as you were saying, Sentinel's really just on the opposite side of the map, now starting to rotate over.
And Def is 3 orbs off, so look to funnel him potentially a kill. And look for him to die to the players of NRG. But for NRG, they're trying to funnel orbs to, I believe it should be Crashes here or Artis. But neither of them actually taking frontal fights right now. Oh, there's a big flank, a pinch attempt here from Victor.
Here.
What the Sentinels players want to do is die at a spike without any, except for Def maybe. But they're coming in from the backside. They might even find all the kills. And Finesse is committing to the site for it too.
Sentinel's still managing to die 3 to the spike. And we'll see, again, as we keep an eye on this ult counter, how close Def is. Yeah, now just 2 points away from having that Reckoning online.
And both of these teams have been committing to the light armor meta in full effect. Not every single team in America is doing that, but Sentinels and NRG, both of them, happy to go for it. Even rumors that Sentinels was scrimming with just Guardians. in effect to counter the light armor strat. It's the pace you expect out of NRG. Just one cascade and they're still holding behind the wall, not really going forward. Something that did hurt them against Leviathan on this map was how often they were challenging and getting hard punished, both in A main and C mound right here.
Yeah, I mean, they just got destroyed at that aspect of the game. You're absolutely right.
Poison's off.
Good attempt there from Crashies. Zekin looking for a jump spot, looking for information, looking to spot Crashies, but Crashies has his crosshair pointed on him. But Tens is very advanced here. Here comes the Trailblazer that's been so good.
That flash.
Every time they get a stun.
Tens should be able to get away.
That is impressive from Tens. Normally you'd see him commit to a fight there, but there, Smoke dashes away and escapes unscathed.
Poison orb emitting.
It's close with it too. NRG looking like they want to end C. The one exception being Crashies. He's way far up on A by himself. And he did just get hit by that flash. Do they draw rotates over? Yeah, take a look at Def. He's creeping back towards A. Now they know that the hit's on C, and it may be okay because Sentinels are holding them back anyway.
And they didn't even get in 20 seconds, yeah. They're gonna pivot to B. They're definitely making an attempt at this. It's Def to respond. 12 seconds.
Victor weak. Art is close by, and he's the first to fall, yeah. Very well played by Sentinels.
Incredibly clean. And NRG, they're getting a wake-up call about what's waiting for them on the C site. It's the Brazilian duo. The Portuguese phenoms. Over here on that C site, there's two mollies there. The Nano Swarm and then the Viper Molly coming in if they could find the timing, but Victor tried to avoid all of that by going dry, but the turret received him. So if he can maybe put it in his mind to try to break that turret early, that's more of an option later on in the round, but there definitely wasn't. The Tens' position all the way up in B. They threw a high tide instead of a cascade this time to cover both B and Mound. So same effect over by Mound, but it allows Tens to get into this position very safely. So Zekin and Tens, the double duelist duo of this team. And NRG's been pivoting. There for the first time you see a Trailblazer that doesn't get a stun for finesse.
Toxin screen down.
And it's left Def on an island.
He does have Reckoning, and he is playing pretty far back.
So ideally they had to be playing retake. Wait for his team to actually regroup, and the door is visible now to them. On the minimap with the 50 seconds left, Artis doesn't have the spike. One off his lockdown though. This is a fast flood before the spike's even tapped, before the spike's even out of tree.
You're absolutely right. Are they going to be able to handle the chaos? Sam dancing around the smoke is concealing so much, and Tens dropped right into his lap. NRG able to get two.
30 seconds
You still have Def close by. Playing and drop. Position now revealed. They've got them trapped. They've got them trapped to the side, and NRG may be perfectly okay with that.
Spammable with 15 seconds.
You just have no idea that that's where the plan is. Now he knows. Saucy's still patient.
Portuguese mode activated.
It's just them two in this 2v5. That would be outrageous. And now Saucy's left by himself. He's got a Phantom. He's tucking tail. He's getting out of there.
Not quite powerful enough, but that flood failed miserably. I think it was Zekin literally fell onto Victor's lap. He caught him. And Tens is back turned. That flash didn't find value either out of Zekin, because everybody was so grouped up right on top of that smoke. Good idea. Execution lacking there from Sentinels. It's not like that C-hold. Oh, it did get value actually on Victor, but Sam completely dodged it because it wasn't low enough. That smoke was obscuring one whole side of that flash.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, NRG just look so much better right now. It's the second flawless round they've put together.
Here.
They find themselves up 2 rounds early on Lotus.
Better than last week against Leviathan.
That's for sure.
Just the opening moments of this map, though. Ten's got the op now. I was looking to see if we could get that up early.
Oh, spam.
That's huge. Also breaks the molly, too, which does actually save his mollies and alarm bot from going down. And there it is. They're popping another one to break it down. And the execute's on.
I mean, Victor's already so far up, and he's separated right now. The cascade from Harbor's keeping him at a distance.
They cleared the site, but they're not on yet. They're going to use a lockdown?
They still have players up in heaven, too. They still have players in Link. You gotten Victor on the site, but where do you go from here?
TP on to plant here from Som.
He's got to scale up. He's got to take some of his space away. It's exactly what Victor's doing. The spike planted, Def waiting on the other side, and Saucy close by. They have no idea where Victor was.
Good movement.
Managing to stay alive for now. Ultimately falling. Tens still has that op in these finals. Showed up into the scene. Som not able to hit the transfer. Tens does hit the shot, but Finesse just waits patiently as Tens dies again.
Good understanding there from NRG. Actually, Victor clearing the site. But while he was doing that, he lost control of Waterfall. He lost control of Heaven, even though he did spot those positions out. They don't want to walk into the spam. So they use the lockdown. Secure. A lot more space, which, by the way, Victor is able to reclaim because of it. And it's just not clean on that reclaim. Up in Heaven, and Zekin again, not finding super much value out of that flash. And for it being the only flash on this team, you're hoping that that can find a little bit more value on those floods. So far in this game, we look to be achieving a sense of normalcy in what we expected from the North American teams as the score 4-1. This is what I think people were expecting from NRG, were expecting from Sentinels, giving a little bit more time to Sentinels. But that win over 100 Thieves last week and that loss from NRG subverted all the expectations, put NA in a sense of flux. Are they even going to make it to Tokyo? And then the further question, which of the NA teams are going to miss out on playoffs? Because that's the situation as it stands. We don't really know anymore. There was expectations, but at this point, it's all fluxed up.
Three-round lead here for NRG. They've got Blades. They have the Omen ult, too. And it's a light buyout for Sentinels.
First attempt at a fast 8 control here from NRG. And it works out. This is what was missing against Leviathan. There were so many good challenges from that team. And Sentinel's not opting to go for any of that, except for on the side of Tens right now, all up by himself at Mound.
Not much to him either, just a Sheriff. But he's still holding up space for the time being. The only person close enough to really challenge is Crashies, and you can tell he's just kind of waiting for it. I wonder if he's expecting a little bit of push towards mid off of the flash from Zekin. Either way, the door hit once again, A.
Just looking for picks through that. Give some dynamic timings on that door where you can clear the space and potentially hold it.
They are going to funnel through. Tree taken.
That's 4 door taps at this point.
Yeah.
Got your trail.
So many mind games being played. You see the paranoia and the flash. They've dropped the Seekers too. And the spam out deals some serious damage early on.
Molly actually prevents Finesse from planting.
Where is he going?
But look at Tens. He had not moved this entire time.
He stays?
Oh.
He's done. Oh my goodness. Well played. As we see this round likely closing out here very soon, Som's going to continue to hunt for a couple of these frags. We'll see if he's able to clean them up. Def spots him. They know where the pressure's coming from. Really no challenge, though, for the Vandal. Yeah, it's interesting, Ball. I think back to the last time we saw NRG on Lotus and how lost they looked, right? Like, they got obliterated. It seemed like they had no real plan. They didn't know what they wanted to do. This is getting a little bit closer than they would like, but cleaned up eventually. That, I even just think about that Som TP, and that just feels like, yep, they're hitting the level that we're used to seeing out of them as far as the big picture of how they want to approach the map.
Yeah, and I think that situation is exactly where they needed to find a little bit more creativity. Because they were getting on the sites. It was just Leviathan was rolling them on those retakes.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember NRG not winning a single post plant in that game. Now that could be wrong. Leviathan was flooding them so fast, it was definitely causing them problems because they were not only allowing them to take the sites in the ways that they wanted, but they were also holding on to that space very, very well.
Same cascade we've seen the last couple of rounds. This time 10's waiting on the other side with an op.
Time to hunt.
Flash and Trailblazer, but the Trailblazer does spot him.
Played a little ring around the rosy for a second.
Crazy part though is that second cascade coming in right as Tens falls back, but that also prevents them from going further on that flash off that Trailblazer. So they just wasted 2 key pieces of initiation utility for nothing.
And it looks like they're going to end back C. Zekin still has a little something to him. Should be able to spot out some of the presence still playing at Mound.
Trailblazer to follow up, and then he also has a flash potential off of Ten's first shot.
There's Ten's, that first shot just narrowly missing. It seems like they want to end B, and they don't go the doorway too.
Look at Victor, he's always on such a good path. Dashing towards heaven, smoking it off, and then clearing the doorway. So while they lost key pieces of initiation utility, they pulled all the rotates off, and now they've got a pit down.
Oh, Finesse once again. He's going to get another kill where he's just able to drop a couple of bullets into the back of someone's head. His positioning has been excellent.
And that's the cue as well for Victor to take the space A main so he can get away from this lockdown. They're going to push it.
They just don't have much control on the extremities either.
Can they even get to Som in time? No, they've got to go for the spike here.
And even if they do, you still have Victor who's on the flank. You've got Finesse who's creeping around the corner as well.
Nobody tapped. Nobody
Som's
tapped.
back up. Zekin's back down.
There's no time anymore.
No.
That's confusing there from Sentinels, I have to say. Not a single person even going for the tap. I'm wondering if there's mollies going off that I just didn't see. Possibly was. Artist was in B main. And they're getting these sites very, very easily, NRG.
We'll take a look at it again. Finesse has gifted another. I think you're right. They're able to get onto the site very effectively, and I think once again, you know, we've touched on this a little bit, but they're being proactive in their controlling of elsewhere on the map, right? They aren't just satisfied with controlling the site. They're controlling choke points, they're controlling pinches elsewhere on the map. That's just causing so many fits for Sentinels here.
And it's piecewise too. It's step by step on everything that they're doing. Even when Artist gets on the site, they're still trying to check all the boxes. Slowing down, waiting for each other. It's very disciplined. This is a huge shift. And maybe it's just comfort against the teams they're familiar with. They've been the kings of NA for so long at this point.
Could be that. It could be role changes. Who knows? Whatever it is, it's working. Much more than we saw last time.
And it's different looks too. Som has joined up with Victor here. He's going to easily receive 10s, although he's got knives.
Oh, I thought he was going to land the second. Had that been a sheriff, maybe. But no. 2v2 here. Seeker's dropped. Second still has the op. So, there's just not a lot of time here.
No more mollies.
The molly's there. Crash, he's having to hold it back, and he cannot.
What a pickup there from Sentinels. There's that fragging ability from both Zekin and Tens. The double duelist duo. Although on this map, and I have to say, I think all the maps that we see in this pool that we'll see today, NRG has forced them away from those maps where they actually do activate. Tens goes for the right click, easily takes out Victor, but with only a classic in that one. And Zekin too. Huge. What else is in the tank here from Sentinels? It's like for the first time, Zekin's on the opposite side of Tens.
They put the op back in his hands too.
I've got your trail.
Fast ult gets canceled. It's a good spot when you're going for a fast C hit.
I feel like we just saw him have that ult too. I mean, they're just dumping utility all over the site, man. The paranoia, the flash, the mollies, everything. But the Reckoning is going to cause problems. This site is so tight.
Trailblazer.
Som's just done, man. He's dead. He got up a little bit too far.
And they've retaken it completely. There's still even more retake tools, though.
There's so much utility here they're going to have to navigate. You've got the nanos. You've got the alarm bots. forcing a reposition. Tens
planted.
with the op, and he got by, but does he aware? Does he know? The swing timing's just too good as Victor gets a second. 3v3 on for the side here. Finesse dancing around the door. Saucy waiting to see if anyone dare challenge.
Hello?
Oh gosh. That was so close. I mean, can Sentinels get in here? It's another late round situation that's now a 2v2.
Finesse let Saucy in way too deep there. You got to kill, and Victor's trying to play the time. Cove's going up. They have nobody to spam this right now.
This is going to be close. They're going to be able to steal this. They got it to half. They're just going to spam their way through. Huge out from Finesse. Can he get the 1v1? Def on the tap, on the hold, but Finesse with the swing and the clutch.
Now there's some cereal.
Again, the leader showing up clutch for this team. This time while fully in control. This time while reading the map as well. This time while finding the right methods to get on the site over and over and over.
Grounded.
It's gotta be like 80% of the rounds that we've seen so far at this point. Last bullet on that one too. And it was Saucy who went back on it because he thought he was gonna be done with the bullets. That's a little unlucky there, but Finesse as well. Channeling Victor's horseshoe.
You got Tens again up on an angle with the Sheriff this time. They're just very carefully, very systematically clearing out every angle. I mean,
This is now Sentinels approaching B-Main, trying to find artists, trying to threaten these flanks. Saucy looked at it in the last one, and he called it the War of the Brains. In one of those interviews that you saw early on, he said that was the win condition, was trying to figure out how Finesse is calling on the map. Currently losing that battle.
and this is just another wrinkle to what NRG are able to introduce on this attacking side. They're burning the clock so far down.
But it's never too far down. There's one round where maybe it was 15 seconds where they actually start to go for the execute, but look, they're gonna have plenty of time, no matter mollies, no matter anything.
Sentinels have been quick on the rotate, though. They already have 4 members here. Paranoia's gonna hit a couple, and you see Victor dashing forward anyway. Ten's cleaning him up. How much can Second find? There's the second. The pistols are so good from Sentinels, and now you have rifles that have arrived. Artis in this 1v3, turning 1v2. 8 seconds on the clock. You've got the turret. You still have Pancata and Saucy you're gonna have to deal with. And he cannot.
Just pistols there from Sentinels. They recover after that clutch very quickly. And you're right, I mean, burning the clock. It's making Sentinels sweat. But at a certain point, you're seeing them now start to try. Whew.
Multiple enemies A.
Tens mode. They're trying to make the gambles at the end of the round. And this is the first one where it really pays off. They had 4 members there. They were flooding. They had flashed before even coming back onto the site. They got a high tide at the perfect time.
Get
That
out of
one was
my
tough
way.
to NRG to crack. First real denial there of the plant.
Blades online for Victor. No early target spotted. Orb's gonna get Finesse one step closer to having Seekers. And it looks like it's gonna be another slow round from NRG.
It's been the tone for this entire map. It's been the tone for NRG so far. And in the past too. Victor with knives. Look to want to hit the seaside a lot faster. Let's see if they can get this lockdown down. Force Saucy off. I've been looking for opportunities to use that hold on the clash. Tens.
By himself. Huge out from Artis. And now they know that Tens is on the other side with the op. The jump peek is too good, but Crashes is better. Paranoia out, and Zekin's gonna fall to it.
Last round in the half.
It's a brutal, brutal hold. I like the idea from Sentinels, but it was a hold in the sense that they're actually receiving the aggression through that rotating door. And again, I'm looking for opportunities for Saucy to get this pit down. A lot of times when you hit this C site, you've seen teams, you've seen Leviathan specifically, fall back and use a pit.
Here.
That covers so much of that exit for you in spawn. Surprised to not see him do that when the idea is to play retake as well.
He is on the opposite side of the map, choosing not to use it early. Well, they had, what, 4 members stacked today? They get 10s into a good position and then start to rotate off. Def now joining the likes of Sassy on the opposite side of the map. And yeah, okay, they are going to spot him. They know where 10s is. The paranoia, once again, you see him dashing away and getting away with the 2.
Sassy uses the pit at the meantime over towards that C site. Crash is going to go investigate, see how it's played, see which one they put down. Are there any gaps? Do they have a protocol for this exact pit? Probably not anymore without that Trailblazer. They're still spread on the map, not wanting to fully commit to this with 50 seconds still. Zekin with the Seekers as well. Pancata with the ult. Those can be used reactively to stop this late hit coming in from NRG. I think they want to pivot through the broken door here.
About 35 seconds left in the round, and as you were mentioning, there's still a lot of delayed tools here on the defensive side.
30 seconds
Mainly
left.
looking at Pancata's ult. As soon as there's enough of a queue, there it is. And they're going to rotate B. And Tense is here with the shorty. He's going to push into it! But Victor wins it out with a shorty of his own. They don't really have time to pivot anywhere else. They're going to have to commit to B. And you see them both. Vipers passing right by one another. Crash, he's patiently waiting and rewarded for it. That finesse, once again. Oh, he may have gone a bit too far. No.
I've got your trail.
Beautiful round again from NRG. The war of the brains is, I mean, especially when you look at that kill from Crash. He's on the Sassy coming out of that pit. He set that up. They set that up for so long at the beginning of the round. They get the lockdown out on A. All of their goals in that round were achieved and given to them by Sentinels. Everything went well in there. And then as well, they have the ability to do this. Victor just hits him right back with a shorty of his own. It's ridiculous from him.
Very well done out by Sentinels, or excuse me, by NRG. They have a 9-3 lead at half in the opening map of this best of 3. Golden Boy, what do you think? 9-3 good?
Look, I'm just not one. I don't believe in curses. Okay,
That's good.
I'm not today. Okay, not on this day. All right, I think this is going to be good, honest, clean Valorant. That is what we're going to be seeing moving forward. But that being said, though, good, honest, clean Valorant is exactly what we got from NRG because Mimi, they look stupendous. They're playing their comp incredibly well, and the results are in the scoreline.
Yeah, with Sentinels on this defensive side, I think one of the biggest issues with their composition that shows is that they have no line control, no Omen with a paranoia, no breach, done nothing like that to early take a long and fight that space, which is normally a priority on this map. So a lot of the times they kind of had this choice of do we anchor sites or do we more often play into these retakes? And what they ended up doing so often was playing for retake because Finesse was calling a really good game in the mid round. Take a look at this round, round number 7, which was one of many where in the late round, NRG managed to get a plant down on this B site. And despite the fact in this one that there was a lockdown to retake, that it was Sentinels plan the whole time, they had Som reposition into Link, they had a player towards long. It was all really good ideas to counter that out. And that shows me FNS has a fantastic read on the comp of his opponent.
Yeah, I really like how they're using the Victor Jet in this composition. I think it's perfect, and it's a great adjustment from how they were using Artis on the Rays previously. It allows you to get those explosive sight hits, but I like this alternative approach with the Jet, where they're still using him to dash entry into the sites, but he's not going so aggressive that he's just kind of maybe trading one for one at best or setting up a teammate for the trade. He's actually throwing down the smokes, managing to stay alive, kind of play around this site, find some picks while the retake is coming in. It's not just this like all or nothing approach that they kind of had before, and that also speaks to the FNS game plan. I like how they're rotating around the map and positioning him in those situations effectively.
Yeah, but 9-3 I think is still doable for Sentinels. This composition is better on the attack side. There's a lot of options in the mid round with the Viper Harbor. And this is a side of the map that NRG really struggled on with their previous comps.
Yeah, well, you know, we're going to see if NRG learned some lessons from last week. Let's go ahead and send it back over to your casters. Now, Doug, do you believe in 9-3? Back over to you.
I don't think I do. I'm not gonna lie.
Shut up, Mr. 9-3 blessing.
3-9 blessing. Come on, it's a 3-9 blessing. All right. But I do think Mimi makes a good point. I think the composition for Sentinels, given that it's their attack side now, given that you should have a bit more agency and more ability to control the map with 3 sites, like,
now or never.
I don't know that it's as done of a deal as you would think otherwise.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate, especially given you still have a very similar control setup here from Sentinels 2. They can burn them down just like NRG did just a half ago. We'll see though. All starts right here. Already trying to gain some control over towards C-Long, but it's unsuccessful. Look, NRG again re-clearing. And they get a setup that if they do choose to pivot, looks like they want to go for just a fast B split here. If they have to pivot all the way back towards C, that's a really good setup late.
Clearing out the panel, dropping utility through it as well. And now the dash forward. Victor having to throw it back. And they're going to have full site control.
While we had something like 11 plants in that first half. Sentinels starting off in the exact same way. These Harbor Viper comps, so good. Sassy up close though.
Even flash, yeah, it was just too close. He was able to spot him, able to see him. Now Dev spraying with the frenzy.
Finesse is on the
one
spike.
back.
I don't even think they know. I think they were paranoid the entire time. Oh my goodness.
They were able to stop him though. That's huge. I thought he was gonna steal it.
I thought so too. Zekin aware. The final second, he had 1 HP when he went to challenge Finesse there. Bit of a gamble. I like the idea. Sam and Finesse combined to get the flashes going, and then the smoke on the spike while those flashes are still affecting the players. I think the Q was actually the smoke. I don't think they actually heard that, because I certainly didn't. All starts on the pistol. And NRG did have a little bit of success on these light eco rounds. 1 share of 3 frenzies. It is dangerous.
They're just so bold, man. They just push right through the cascade. Unawares as to what's on the other side, but they choose to do it anyway. And now they've got this, what could potentially be a devastating flank.
I have to draw parallels to, like, I mean, the last time we saw Victor on Jet was on those Breeze maps. And while towards the end of that comp, didn't look as clean. At the very beginning when they pulled it out, when they pulled out the neon comps, all those different innovative stuff that they did. It looked so
Spike
good.
down
Artist
A.
with the first kill finds the spike too. So he knows exactly how this is going down. The spike is headed towards A and they're pinching on them from all sides.
Victor's a cloud burst too, or he just clears it out. Zekin spots him, clears him up.
Spike planted.
Yeah, but there's more than one flanker there.
I don't know that they know either. Oh, yes, it's a frenzy though.
Won't matter either because Artist was already coming from the doorway, and if they leave the rotating door closed, they'll know they have to come through main. Looking for exits now. Here. You saw the shift right there, completely. Just everybody backed up a little bit more, got very tight. And there's really no serious escape here for the side of Sentinels. Might be a lot of guns lost. And they make the right read going up through spawn. Everybody wants to die to Spike.
Yeah. Hell, they're the ones who...
No. Good Molly. There wasn't time either. Slow, methodical from Sentinels. And even though it was NRG encroaching on all sides, they still managed to not get squeezed out there. They still managed to find a way out. First gun round of the game. Everybody light armor on the server.
And NRG with another aggressive push towards A main.
Here.
Victor now, the first one forward. And it seems like Sentinels may be pushing their way in. How far up does Victor go?
I'm wondering if there's a real good combination here.
Yeah, they have a paranoia perhaps from Sam.
Time to hunt.
Oh, you're just gonna back on up.
Yep. I mean, very similar protocol to what Tens was doing, but instead Victor activates his dash and stays on the angle after he gets cleared by the Trailblazer. And there finally uses it. I like that. How much longer he saves his dash, how he doesn't actually need to use his smoke there. You can see the optimization there from Victor, slightly better than the protocol out of Tens. But will it matter? They've got a tree set up here. We did not really see this sort of thing from Sentinels, but Spike's on the other side of the map. Def's high tide coming back up. They just cycled the wall, doors being popped open as well. But the Trailblazer cleared so much just then, down from stairs. It's only 3 players here against Crashies.
30 seconds left.
Is that gonna be enough? Drops the first molly, still has the second. And just in the nick of time, Finesse seems like he's showing up. Artist is too. The rotation top to Trot, not far behind.
Here.
Good molly there for Crashies to keep the push back. Tens definitely wanted to go for it. They're still gonna go for it.
Flash forward, Crashies dancing around the cloud burst, and Tens was blind. They may have gone up just a bit too far. Now starting to back up and fight for control of the site. You see them white-knuckling their way to try to keep them back. But the NRG flood trying to funnel through. Victor getting one back. 3v3 here for the rest of the site. Artist spraying through as Victor's gotten the third.
Enemy remaining.
Fourth.
1 HP.
They want it.
Huge round from Victor. I don't know where that came from. He just came out of spawn and did what Finesse could not off that early peak.
If any of you die,
And I thought for a moment there Zekin was farming on the site with that Bulldog. Against the light armor, the Bulldog a lot more effective.
stay down.
You see him spraying frantically. Here's the kills from Victor.
3.
Nasty things.
Enemy remaining.
Nasty, nasty things from the man himself.
5-round lead for NRG. The only real ult close by is Victor's in the Blades, 1 point away. Meanwhile, Zekin has a very good engage tool in his
Are they going to challenge here? Finesse throws the flash. See if they walk out in front of that one way. And because of that, they do not challenge. Victor's success in that last round reminds me of how he was asked to shift his role so much for this core. From initiator to flex to initiator to duelist. When Ye last year had to play the chamber. And he did it every single time. Here he is again on a star player role with star player performances.
Shadows traveling.
He's delivering. The door
I've
tap.
got your trail.
Will he get challenged? The Seekers cleared. Where do they go off of this? They've taken a lot of B main control, but you still have so much utility from Artist on B. And then you still have to deal with Artist himself.
Damage done, but not the kill. High Tide will get them the spike down. Look at the flank still here though, Crashies. Very curious.
He still has a turret up though.
Toxins going up.
Oh, it just went down.
He's gonna slip the net.
Pankata's up in waterfall. He doesn't even realize.
He's gonna slip the net, and the flash doesn't tag anything either.
Get out of my
Saucy keeping one back, expecting the other. That's 3 on the round for him, but can Crashies play hero? No, he cannot. The timing's just not great. Pankata getting 2 massive kills at the end. The Sentinels get to 6.
I'm not sure if Pankata had the right timing to come back there after he left his turret go down, or if that was uncomfortability on the roll. I'm leaning towards the latter, and he ends up getting fortunate on the timing that they walk back through waterfall after clearing it.
squad.
But either way, it is Saucy and Pankata to combine to clean up this round. He's explosive. He really is. You've been seeing a lot of multi-kills for him on this new role. Not playing the initiator that he normally is. And he's playing fantastic. One of the biggest questions for the Sentinel squad after last week was, are the champions on this team going to step back up to champion level form with the new rules? They've got a lot to learn.
Deep harbor wall. They're gonna dash forward. Crashies is there, and he's ready, and he's waiting, and he gets the one that was free.
That was an accident.
Yeah.
Pankata goes down by accident. He was vulnerable and decayed through that orb. And the spray that actually was taking down Tens. Oh gosh. Oh. A wild jump peek from Finesse.
He was wide. He was so wide.
I think the reason he survived might have been how wild that was.
Yeah. Def getting the spike down. Sentinels still have a shot at this. They're just down 1, and they have the pit now.
they can't really play this. They're playing underneath, and that's a little scary because those guys can walk up and negate the near sight.
Look at that wall. You have a wall protecting the pit. So many layers that NRG are gonna have to get through.
Blinded.
Flash getting one. They're waiting, they're patient. Now they start to flood out. Victor getting one with the blades, but he's weak. And Zekin getting two with the spam. It's a 1v1, but Victor's 1 HP.
Okay, it's coming back.
Yeah, it's back. The flash is good though from Zekin.
And we might just yet have a game still. 3 rounds the difference now. You thought, especially after winning that first gun round, that NRG may just run away with it. Look at this kill on the 10s, and Pancata was the first guy he shot by accident there. That's
Falling.
absurd.
He was falling, bro. Like, that's just unlucky, man.
And Zekin the spray through that pit that Sasi got up. He kept it up for so long. The NRG players were suffocating inside of it, that Zekin just needs to breathe on them. And it sucks the life out of the round now. NRG with the timeout. NRG need to come up with the plans. On attack side, it was flawless from them. Really, really good ideas. So far in this defense, they're not really doing an amazing job at stopping these hits. And when they came in there, that was, again, battle of the brains. Sasi leading the way, finding that lurk. It's huge. You saw him get a little bit more comfortable with making those proactive decisions on that first half where he was flanking the door, flanking all the way back around A main, pushing B link, those sorts of things, and it's still continuing this half. He definitely has a read on the game.
Meanwhile, NRG seem to have lost theirs. They've just won 1 round on this half. But they still have a 3-round lead they can work with.
I have to also think, this is Sentinel's map pick. How important is this in this map pool? I already mentioned a little bit how NRG, in my mind, got this a little favored throughout all 3 maps here because they're avoiding the double duelist of Fracture and Split the entire time. Forcing maps like Lotus, forcing maps like Pearl. And Icebox even, you could consider that one too.
That's the big key. The Seeker's online now for Finesse.
Artist is locked down as well. In this situation, definitely power ults that could swing the round, but they're not exactly ones that fully guarantee it.
What are they waiting for here? Victor gonna feel some pressure with the Trailblazer and shoots True to try to clear it out. Gives his position away and has to tuck tail.
I think one of the things there that you're looking at, both Def and Sasi playing such passive positions behind that wall, are hoping that instead of re-aggroing and re-clearing down C like NRG is doing consistently, they'll swap that over to A in the late round. Breaks the door open for those Seekers to go through, get a little bit more info.
Tens is already on site.
Look at the last Seeker all the way in spawn right now, actually giving them all the information. All 5 players now are going to be here for the NRG squad.
They use the lockdown. There's still going to be tree that Sentinels can play in. They get the spike down, and yeah, they're going to tuck right on back. And if that's not enough, you also have Sasi who's playing off further back.
They're swinging back in the side.
And they hit the door to pretend that they're going to be pulling off, but they want to take the fight to NRG. And it's gone 2 for 2, the dash, and now Zekin swinging around, and Zekin able to get 2, the 3rd on the round for him. But that's just on the other side. A 4K for the young star on Sentinels.
He is going crazy this game on the Sky. 18-11, top fragger on the server. And it's moments like that. A great call from Sentinels to reflood into the site after they realize that lockdown's not pushing them far.
Yeah.
And you expect from the NRG side that they're not going to do that. They're going to sit back in tree. They're going to go for post plants. Just try to find picks on the entry back in. But because of that flood, they lost track of where all the players were coming back out of. That smoke from Tens as well. It's going great.
This has the potential to be chaotic. Look at how far up NRG are on C. Sentinels once again wanting to fight with the paranoia. Oh my gosh, it's a disaster. It's a disaster.
Spike
That is
down. Attacker
so
spawn.
cool from Victor and Psalm. The paranoia deafens them. And Victor goes for the updraft dash. They have no way to track that while deaf.
Toxin screen
You
down.
have to hear the audio cues of those updrafts. And he gets the disgusting flank off with just a classic, mind you.
Poison orb emitting.
And a huge round out from NRG. Again, in a situation where they didn't have a ton of buys. You alluded to the classic previously. Crashies has a stinger. They're able to scoop up some of the weapons. Now Victor and Finesse having rifles. Psalm as well.
And more layers to that too while we have a second. They tap that orb, expecting the trap there from Tens to peek through the one-way and try to challenge the player with the orb. And once that trap is triggered, that's when the paranoia comes
30
in.
seconds
Sentinels is
left.
trying to group to receive the anti-eco push. Battle of the brains continue.
Yeah, that's a telestrator play right there.
That is,
Yeah.
that one was a lot of fun. They're going to continue 15 seconds. They got all the guns already, so happy to chase down Satsi.
Perhaps get another rifle. Artist was the only one, and yeah, he's gonna get something. Now 4 rifles carried into that round from NRG.
Yeah, they might have just given themselves room for almost the rest of this game economically just because of that one thrifty. I'm not sure if it's a reset for Sentinels. We need to check on that one. Look, everybody, and the flash as well coming in late. They have no clue. Look how grouped up they were. All 4 players hit by that paranoia.
Last player standing.
Oh, and it's cold from Finesse too. Usually, yo, he's popping off on the stage. Especially after a call like that.
Dialed in. A timeout called here as we near the end of this opening map. Still a 3-round lead for NRG. You know, you mentioned the coldness out of Finesse in situations like that. I just go back to the previous round where Zekin face like no expression in his face, but still playing up to the crowd. Like you can tell these are just two like this feels like a match that is delivering in the way that we expected, right? Like Sentinels looking better as the season has gone on, and NRG on return to form from last week. It just feels like a heavyweight fight.
I mean, this could definitely be the 2 best teams in North America. I think we're trying mostly to place them outside of that, but the battle for the Americas League is not fought within North America only. But it still matters so much to these teams.
Placing swarm grenade.
Sentinels down 3.
Placing alarm bot.
Interesting too. We haven't really seen Sentinels go for something fast and aggressive, and right now they're all stacked up A into the op from Victor.
Doesn't have the same leeway here with the Phantom that he did, and he does get tagged. A lot of damage actually done to him. Part of that was the decay of running back through the wall. Still gets a bullet though in the leg. Surprised to see him going for the op when he's finding success with the Phantom, especially on the retakes. But he does have that knives as a secondary option.
They've got them trapped. Yeah, the pit's there, and they're also controlling panel. There was a flash. Victor now landing the shot with the op.
Surviving every time though. Heels coming back up. Saucy.
Oh, he's getting so far up. And he walks right into the shorty barrel.
The game sense from Victor is insane right now with those shorties.
Only a couple of members left for Sentinels on A, and it feels like they're spread a little thin. What's the cue for NRG to go? Where do they pounce? Zekin already falls. Death able to take one with him, but that's all it is, and it would be an outrageous play out from Pakala for him to pull that off, but he cannot. Sam's gonna get the defuse. NRG are gonna get to 12. And they still have the op for Victor.
And he still has his knives too. I don't think he popped them. He used the shorty instead as the secondary.
Match point.
In situations like that anyways, the knives are going to be used in the same sense of a shorty, where you're just trying to get a right-click kill while you go back to your primary.
Right.
Because it is so cheap. I mean, the knives in this instance can kill from a much longer range with the right-click. But I have to point out the game sense from Victor there to recognize Saci was going to go for something cheeky. Saci is the one. While Zekin is receiving the plays a lot of times and living up to the moment, Saci is the one being proactive about it. So if they cancel that, nobody else on Sentinels is really finding that same groove.
That flash hit? Yeah, it did. Saw him backing up. Got Finesse close by.
I suggest you move.
They're investing a lot into this, but that paranoia. Oh, Finesse falls. I mean, they've dropped the Reckoning, they've dropped Harbor Utility, but they all want to go towards C.
And there's actually Spike canceled mollies here. And nothing breaks them, so 1 minute, this is going to be a lot of time for them to get back into this. That turret down right now, Pankata's trying to get it back up.
Oh, and it's clear.
He pulled it away.
Victor's creeping up. You've got Zekin who's waiting to receive.
Spike
And the timing on that is just so much fun. Is he going to swing out? Is it going to be Victor who's coming through? But Victor's slow walking his way into Zekin's crosshair.
Gets out of there as well. A secondary attempt going to come through from Crashes, but the rest of NRG.
Zekin's ready for it, man. Look at him. He's pushing forward.
At this point, he's hunting.
Yeah.
It looked like NRG wanted to maybe put Crashes there in a position to get a lot of exits with the pressure from the door that Sam was putting on while the rest of them walk away and save their weapons.
Turret out.
And especially if they get these two guns saved, there's 3 rounds for sure of buffer economically for the NRG side, even losing this one and getting the reset. We got gun rounds all the way through.
Yep.
For both sides, it looks like. It's the second time out. Last time out from NRG. They called one this second half early, and now again trying to find a way to close out this game. And they're not taking this lightly either. This threat right now is within 3 from Sentinels.
A moment to talk things through here. We saw just before the timeout was called. Another op was invested. So they're continuing to put trust in Victor to find value with that weapon.
Again, that decision to me is very surprising given the comp that you have out from Sentinels. The Harbor Viper is so difficult to find good angles from. You get everything chopped up in front of you. Yet, I say that, and he found that gap and dropped that one time. And he's able to find value other ways as well. Especially because I think he still has his knives up.
I believe he does as well, yeah. NRG just within arm's reach of closing out this map and taking a 1-0 series lead into the next. But Sentinel's not far behind here.
Turret out.
Both teams definitely improving on their last week's performance so far, in my opinion. Even though Sentinels got that win over 100 Thieves, I don't think it was as clean as it might have looked from the surface. Every single game went to the wire. 2 games went to overtime. They barely pulled it out on Ascent. That was a nice comeback from them. They're attempting the same thing here against NRG.
They're going to take a main control again, but note here, it's historically been the Trailblazer out from the attacking side that pushes the Jet off of this angle, but this time it's the Trailblazer that's getting Victor into an aggressive spot.
Remember, he flanked last time too. He's going to go for it.
Oh, what a shot!
Might just be a game-ending pick right there. Def the Harbor. It's so much more difficult. Sasi's already committed his wall. The strengths of this comp are with having the ability to pivot.
And now they don't. What else do you have to provide cover? And now the Blade's online.
Sam has to stay on this fake. He cannot bite on the B fake right now.
He's patient. And they're creeping right by him. The alarm bot gives the positioning away. Artist walks into his death, but Sam's trying to hold the line.
I got the spike.
Tense comes in, uptrash to trade that. I'm not even sure that Pankata was going to be in the position to do so himself.
Zekin once again to receive, and he does. But I don't know that he's expecting the second.
Yeah, he is.
Should give it away, though. Confirming his suspicions, the flash to swing around, and Crashes was a dead man walking. Another round for Sentinels. Oh, they're far from done.
2-round lead. Victor trying to escape second hunting. This is a difficult spot to get through, though. but it is spammable. If you don't want to go through the big queue of opening the door itself, I think there's about 10 seconds left on the spike, so plenty of time to hunt, 15 total maybe. And 1 second, even if he dies here, you have Tens who has the opportunity of chasing this down.
He knows.
2
How
seconds.
aggressive does Tens go?
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, yeah, he was about to swing.
He was looking up for the up trap too from Tens. That's surprising. Did have the knives, so.
That was so clean from Tens.
But the knives were out there from Finesse. And I believe, yeah, Crash these two. And Zach can put him in the blender.
Op carried over for Victor once again, opening the round towards A. And that's where all of Sentinels are. 10 stashing forward. And he's got a flash over the top to help out. Instantly door triggered. Victor not going to get a shot.
Flooding them.
You have so many members of NRG here. You've got Song close by, Finesse getting info with the Trailblazer, and you still have that op you have to take care of.
Again, lines of sight blocked over and over from Victor. He's trying to be dynamic. Trying to get into better positions every time. But when you're starting off all the way back, you saw the success of the last round was because he started way forward. Unexpectedly. Now, he's almost neutered entirely already.
Third tap of the door, if I'm not mistaken. It's just Tens. Fourth now.
Oh, no! Whoa! No!
Oh, gosh.
Still gets the kill. It's not the end of the world, but definitely a little bit of an issue there from Psalm.
Spike planted.
3 gonna funnel in from the defender's side, and Tens was far up. Artist takes care of him. Numbers NRG here, but Spike ticking away, and it has for a little while now. They're gonna have to move forward with some pace. Def not able to get the second. It's all on Bangala. Finesse on the tap. He's gonna get it to half. No, but that Molly's gonna help. It's gonna buy some time. The spam out. He's gotta land these shots on Crashies now, and he cannot. The defuse is gonna come through, and Sentinels gave a run at it, but NRG close out Lotus 13 to 10.
Defenders words of our sober. The pack
Scary moment there as Psalm almost